This guy has a comment and he goes, I'm sick of acting cold and distant. Men are being told not to chase and women are being told not to chase. So nobody is putting in effort because women think there is always something better. So first off, I need you to get rid of these are the kind of thoughts that are projected out there on like YouTube videos, like, oh, all women with this and oh guys, this is that. And so notice I never tell you guys be cold and be distant. What I say is be indifferent. There's a difference. Indifference is you're not sewn to an outcome having to happen. You recognize people have the rights to do whatever they're going to want to do. I always tell women, hey, if you decide to stay with me, that's fantastic. But if you don't, you have a right to do whatever you want. You can go someplace, somebody else. You don't owe me that, right? But here's the thing. You're not acting cold and distant. You're still showing interest. It's just the way most guys try to show interest is in a way that is either very feminine leaning or is not appealing to women. So as a guy, you going up to her and walking up and saying, hey, what's going on? That's showing interest. You asking for a number. That's showing interest. You asking for the date, showing interest. You on dates trying to kiss her, showing interest. So notice, all that is showing interest. What I'm saying is you don't need to also be like, and I have feelings for you, and I love you, blah, blah. And I say that because, as I stress time and time again, most guys are feeling that by date 2 or 3, and it's too soon for the woman. So you're doing yourself a disservice by trying to tell a woman after 1 or 2 dates that you have feelings because she's not there. And so even if you have feelings, that doesn't mean you can't have feelings. It just means that in terms of you having to express them verbally, you don't. You express feelings during the dating phase, you keep asking her for dates, you keep kissing her, you keep hooking up with her. That's how you as the guy are going to get away with showing affection and not being cold and distant. You know what's going to happen when you do that? She's going to respond in kind. The problem most men have with women, because you're saying women are being told not to chase. No, what's happening is that men don't give women the chase to space. Don't give women the space to chase. And so they never see it. Like I was a guy at one point that I didn't understand what women chasing looked like. I would be able to get a girl on a first date. And in hindsight, I'm looking back like, oh crap, they were doing chasing. There was a girl I met one time in college. We went on, I had a friend of mine in college that had a female cousin come into town. And again, she coming into town. She goes to school in a different town than I do. I'm not trying to date her. The whole time, I'm just saying random comments here and there. She doesn't laugh at all my jokes. She didn't say, that's so funny. She doesn't touch my shoulder. Like, at that point, I was like, okay, there's something here. So I just said, hey, if I'm ever in your town, like, I'm going to take you out. Give me a number, whatever, right? So then I go to her town because I go see a movie premiere. I'm like, hey, I'm going to this movie thing. Do you want to go? Without hesitation. Oh, my God. Yes, absolutely. During the date, she's complimenting me. She's all like leaning up on me in the movie theater. At the end of the date, we get back to her place. And I'm like, she's sitting in the college dorm, right? So I'm going to be a gentleman and walk her back to her place because I want to see her get back to her door. Not to hook up with her because I was still a virgin at this point and didn't know what the heck I was doing. But I walk her to just like the door where there's like a security to get through this part of the door to get to the next part of the wherever. So I'm just like, I'm walking to like the security part and then leave. And then she's like, hey, so do you want to come up? I'd never had a girl ask me to come up before. I literally just thought she wanted me to see her room. I went to her room. I saw her room and said, this is a nice room. But in my head, I'm thinking like, well, what are we going to do in here? Because it's just this big bed taking up all the space. And I left. And then like 3 hours later, I was like, oh. But I never had a woman show me those signs. So this is an example where the woman was chasing. She was the one. I asked her for the date. I did my part. But then she's touching me. She's inviting me up to her place. She sits me on her bed, like all this stuff, right? But most men don't see that. And so we just think we got to do all the stuff because they're not going to ever chase us at all. And it's like men don't give the space. Men are so busy trying to do that we don't realize if we just do our part and then lean back, that allows them the space to come in and chase us. And so as I got better at dating, I started to see, oh, if I'm patient, women will chase. Women will try to come up to your place without you having to ask them. Women will make you all kinds of meals and compliment you and want to take you on dates and pay for things and take you on vacations and like, oh my God, it's all this chasing. But most men don't get there because it's a thing of like, they're thinking, well, I want the results I want. And so if I don't see them doing what I want them to do, why would I do what I need to do? And I'm telling you, if you just do the things that you need to do, women will give you the world and will do the chasing. And even with like the texting thing, right? I find in the beginning, if I'm just texting for dates, women will do like 70 to 75% of the initiating of text, which means I now don't have to worry about trying to chase them down with text. But men will think, but if I don't text them or get back to them in time, then I'm being cold and distant. Again, no, you're not. You're doing your part by asking for the dates and trying to get physical contact, right? But you got to leave space for them. If you don't leave space for them, then you're never going to see this. But again, in my program, Introvert Dating Success Academy, I talk about all this. I talk about the signs, because this is the thing too. You got to be aware of the signs. And so in that program, I talk about these are signs that you're not aware of that women show that indicate that they actually are trying to chase you. In the beginning, with all women, with most women, the chase from them is going to be subtle. Them just saying yes to the date is the start of their chase. Then on the date, if they're talking to you and they just happen to reach over a little bit and say, oh, and let me tell you about this, that touch, that's chase. And those are just two examples. I go over a lot more in the program, but suffice to say, most men don't know. I didn't know at one point what all these signals were, but as you learn, because they're very passive. So for guys, learning how women use passive language, it's like learning Spanish or Japanese and you don't know how to speak that. It's like, it really is its own way of moving about in the world. So once you learn those things, you'll realize that, like I did, it's like the blinders were off. Oh, women were chasing me all along. Back in college, when I couldn't get a girl, there were women that were doing and saying things that I didn't know was chasing because I didn't recognize what the signals were. So you got to learn those things. This goes back to self-improvement. You got to keep in the mind frame that you're going to be constantly learning about women and what they do and how they function and operate. And I say it is worth it because then you won't say statements like women are told not to chase. It's an involuntary. Women that have high interest in you, they don't have to be told to chase you. They will involuntarily do it, but you got to get them to that point. So you got to learn what those things are, just lessons to learn. And they're all very learnable lessons. Anyway, see, he said, yeah, I had that quiet storm after the speech. It spanned a couple of days, but I handled it like a boss. Nice. So he's talking about, this guy's talking about when he had for Valentine's Day, he had to let the girl like not talk to her for a few days. He's like, yeah, I had that quiet storm after the speech. It spanned a couple of days, but I handled it like a boss. I had bouts of, dang, I missed her so effing bad. Then be like Patrick Swayze in Red Dawn. Hold it back. Yeah, you know what? It's funny because I talk so much about the whole waiting between dates to contact a woman. When I first tried that, okay, I'm gonna take a girl on a date. And then I follow Doc Love stuff. And Doc Love was like, you need to wait a minimum, you need to wait 5 to 9 days before you contact a girl for a second date. And I was like, I changed it to 4 because part of my anxiousness, I was like, I can't wait 5 days. As I've gotten older, I've actually had it where I can actually wait 2 weeks and then hit a girl up and get a second date and third date. It really is about, if they have high interest, they'll accept the date whenever, right? But that first time when I was like, okay, I took her out. And so, okay, I'm not going to text her and I'm not going to try to just have banter conversation and I'm not going to try to ask for a date right away. I'm just going to wait it out. And you know what happened that first time? The girl reached out to me the next day. Hey, Harry, just want you to know I had a great time last night. Oh, you mean if I'm not reaching out, they're going to have their own anxiousness going on and probably reach out to me first? And that means they're now chasing me. And if they're chasing me, they can't. This is amazing. Oh my God. But again, a lot of the concepts I'm talking about, when I first say things like wait 4 days between dates to text, or, don't invite her to meet your friends in the beginning, you're going to feel, you got to study your emotions. When I say that, what do you feel? You probably feel anxiousness. Oh my God. He's saying, wait, what? No, it's good. And it's like, you have to work past that because getting past anxiousness means building new habits. And when you first start those new habits, like anything else, you're going to think, this isn't going to work. No, I can't do it. I got to go back to my old way, but you're always not working either, right? So now you're stuck with, I'm always not working, but this new thing, I'm not sure it's going to work. And oftentimes we'll lean back on the things that don't work because they're comfortable versus trying an unknown that we don't know is going to work or not, And so I'm just saying, if nothing else, try the things I'm talking about one time. If it doesn't work, you've lost no ground. If you don't text the girl between dates and she gets mad at you, you're going to lose her anyway. But if you do keep her, then you realize, oh, so I didn't have to do the work of trying to think of text for 4 days straight to get her on another date. And then I found when I waited between the dates to text that it just made them anticipate seeing me more to where I started getting a lot more second date hookups. Who knew that was going to be a result of that, But if I had never tried it, then I would have never gotten to that space. So now this guy's at a point where they're back seeing each other once a week. Yeah, because all it took was she needs time away from you. Again, guys don't like to hear that. How dare she? If she likes me, she should want to spend time with me. But you got to understand, her brain is your best ally. And her brain's going to imagine how great of a guy you are in your absence. So her brain's going to be building up the story of you in her head. But if you're a guy that is interrupting that thought by trying to text her all the time and invite her out all the time, then it's going to die out quickly. How do I know? Because I study patterns, and that's a pattern that I observed.
You's a bad boy, but you can't stop, won't stop. You a high earning, high value, high class man. You a high earning, high value, high class man. You a high earning, high value, high class man. You a high class man. You a high class man. You a high earning, high value, high class man.